Hey, it's Jonathan Matoshnik. So this isn't a question. I just wanted to tell you about something that may or may not interest you. In fact, it won't. It doesn't interest a lot of people, but I think it's really valuable. It's something that most people ignore. But so I had lunch today with a really good friend of mine named Kaz, and she said something at lunch. She's a great marketer. She's really good about getting inside of people's heads. She's really creative, really good at coming up with ideas, helping companies come up with ideas. She works with super high level athletes, fixes their head, rather than fixing the performance side of their game and making them better at whatever it is, shooting more baskets, scoring more hockey goals. She fixes that junk in their head that makes them exponentially better. Believe it or not, that stuff is absolutely critical. So I'm not one of these people that gets into this whole tell yourself positive stuff or tell yourself all these affirmations all the time, or if you just believe it, it'll happen. I don't buy all that junk. But I do believe in what you tell yourself is critically important. So I just want to share a little something with you. This is kind of off the wall, didn't come from a question, but it's really important because I see this a lot. And so Kaz was giving the example of the connections your brain makes when you say something or hear something positive versus say or hear something negative. Let's be specific about, let's say something about yourself. So let me use an example I like to use because I see it all the time. You see it all throughout the workplace. A lot of people say, oh, I hate the computer, I'm no good at the computer, I can't do the computer, whatever, I hate whatever it is. They say this stuff all throughout the day. I hate the computer, I hate this, I hate that, I can't do this, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. Every time you say that, as Kaz was explaining today, that makes a connection in your brain. It makes a connection about, it just established was one more thing in your brain where you don't believe it. You don't believe it's possible. Every time you say that stuff to yourself, I hate this or I hate that, I'm not good at this, it's creating a connection. Likewise, same is true when you're saying something positive. So my understanding is this has been proven to be the case. I take her word for it. So what I wanted to mention to you is I see all these guys that are thinking, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not good enough, my dad said I can't do this, my family said you shouldn't start a business, it's too hard, nobody in your family's ever started a business before, or you shouldn't take that risk, that's just too risky, or you shouldn't spend that money to try this thing, you shouldn't send out that marketing piece because it'll probably just fail, you don't have any marketing education, or you didn't go to college so you really don't know what you're doing. All this BS. It's all bull. It's not true. You hear all this stuff, and every time that stuff's said to you, it just builds one more connection in your brain. All that negative stuff you say to yourself, all those things you say, I don't think I can do it, I don't think I'll make it, I don't think this is going to work. It's messing you up more than you realize. And I do believe that Kaz is correct. That's really important to be telling yourself the right stuff. It's really important to be surrounding yourself with the right people. There's a saying that you'll become the 5 people you hang around. So if you want to make $500,000 a year, you need to be hanging around people making $500,000 a year, not people making 30 grand a year. The reason is because they're talking about things that people that make $500,000 a year talk about. They're doing the things that $500,000 a year earners do. They're reading the things $500,000 a year earners read. They're having the problems that $500,000 a year earners have, and they're solving them, and you're learning from that stuff. You're being inspired by them. You're growing. It's creating positive things in your head. You get around that stuff long enough, you believe you can do it too. It's real. So what Kaz said today, which was critically important, is if you've got a choice between saying positive affirmations to yourself and saying positive things to yourself versus stop saying the negative stuff, stop surrounding yourself with people that are pounding the negative stuff in your head, which is better? Say more positive or get away from the negative? And what she said is, absolutely most important, stop the bleeding. Stop that negative junk that's being pounded into your head. It's more important than telling your stuff all that positive stuff. That negative stuff sticks with you and makes connections in a different way than the positive stuff does. I just wanted to pass this along to you because if right now you're stuck in an environment, you're working with other people that are negative, if you got employees that are constantly negative and draining you, if you're surrounded by family members that are negative and draining you, if you're surrounded by friends that are negative and draining you, whatever those negative influences are, whatever that negative stuff you're surrounding yourself with, whatever all that talk radio stuff you're listening to in the morning that's driving you crazy and you can't stand, what's going on in Washington or what's going on in your local area, and every morning it puts you in a bad mood, creates all this negative stuff in your head, stop that stuff. Get it out of your life and replace it with positive stuff, learning stuff, building yourself up, listening to audiobooks, listening to positive stuff that you can learn from and better yourself, stuff that gets you excited and motivated. Motivation is a very temporary thing, but motivation has a place because it can get you motivated and going and moving to take action. And then once you're motivated and taking action, the getting the stuff done and seeing the progress kind of takes over, and that's what keeps you going. So the motivation in and of itself is a very temporary, fleeting thing. It only gets you started. Once you get moving, that's got to keep you going. The results have got to keep you going. So I really believe what Kaz had to say. If you're going to focus on something, focus on getting the negative out of your life. Not on hanging something else on your mirror, not on the next positive affirmation, not on the next success seminar, not on the next public speaking thing you attend. They're going to rally you and get you all excited. And all that stuff has a place, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if you're going to choose, stop the bleeding. Get that negative trash out of your life. It'll make room for all the other stuff. The reason I record this is I just see it way too often. We surround ourselves with people that are downers. We answer their phone calls. They take us down a level, and then the rest of our day is unproductive. We listen to talk radio in the mornings driving to work. We listen to talk radio between jobs. It frustrates us. It stresses us out. It makes us angry. Takes us down another notch. We've got somebody saying you can't do it, or you don't deserve to make $150,000 a year, or you don't deserve this or that, or nobody in your family's gone and done that before, you didn't go to college, whatever that other stuff is. I see so many people that are just bombarded with that stuff. That stuff doesn't matter. The people that are telling you that stuff, it doesn't matter if they haven't done it. So really, I really believe this. I believe in listening to people that have done it. I believe in taking your advice from people that are doing it. If somebody's giving you advice and they're not making more money than you, they're not more successful than you, they never did what they're telling you not to do, why would you listen to them? Why in the world would I listen to some guy that's giving me advice on how to build my business that's an employee? Why would I listen to somebody that says it's too hard, don't go out in business for yourself, or don't take that marketing risk, or don't do that, and they've never done any of it? They're sitting there working for somebody, or they're running the small little business that they've never taken any risks in, and they're not making any money, and they're not happy with their life. Why would I listen to them? Yet those are the very people we so often take our advice from, and that build all that negativity up in our life. Shake that stuff. It'll really help you a lot. I've done it myself. I've been around it. I've been around those people. I slowly just get rid of them. Slowly over time. Get rid of one more at a time. I quit taking some of those phone calls. I quit talking to them. There's no point. It's not going to help you in any way. You can't fix them. So stop the bleeding. Get the negative junk out of your life. It'll leave room for all the other stuff. I hope that helps you. I hope that's a little bit encouraging for you, because it's really good, legit advice that I got from a good friend of mine today. Thanks.